Hey everyone, welcome back to Unbreakable-You. I am Olga Benyaminov, your healing and empowerment coach, and I want to continue what we started last week. Last week, we had such a powerful conversation, and we talked about how pain changes you, how it creates a version of you that was actually built in survival, not in truth. And if you really sat with that and if you really listened, you probably have started to see some discomfort. You may even have realized that this is not who you really are. So today I want to go in a deeper level to this because awareness is very, very powerful. But awareness alone doesn't change your life. What changes your life is responsibility. So today I want you to ask yourself this harder question. Where did you abandon yourself in the process of trying to be loved? Take a breath with that because I know this is a difficult question. This is not to blame, but actually to find the power. And let's be honest. It's easy, very easy actually, to say they hurt me, they were unavailable, they didn't treat me right. And it may all be true, but the deeper truth is that at some point you stayed. At some point you ignored something. You justified someone's behavior because you wanted to feel loved. You explained something away. And again, this is not for the purpose of judgment. This is awareness that's turning into responsibility. It's very easy to blame someone else, but the truth is that you allowed it. Because Brianna Wiest, and I hope I'm pronouncing her last name correctly, Wiest, if you want to read her books, she says that self-sabotage is not lack of discipline. It's a conflict between what you want and what you believe that you deserve. And if you stayed in something or with someone that hurts you, then that's pretty much something you have to ask yourself. What did I believe about myself in that moment where I decided to stay? Because self-betrayal doesn't always look obvious. It's subtle. It sounds like something that you tell yourself. It's not that bad. Maybe I'm just overreacting. He's just going through something. I don't want to lose him. Right? Sounds familiar? But slowly, you start overriding your own truth. You feel that something is off, but you're silencing it. You see those red flags, but you're minimizing them. You need more, but you convince yourself to accept less. And this is exactly what women who love too much talk about. Women don't stay in a relationship because they are weak. They stay because they are trying to earn love. But love that has to be earned through suffering is not love. So why do we do this? Why do strong, intelligent, capable women abandon themselves? Because of emotional conditioning. Because somewhere along the way, you learned that love must be earned. That attention must be worked for. And consistency is not guaranteed. So when you meet someone who is inconsistent, it feels familiar. And as we touched on last week, familiar feels like love, even when it hurts. So instead of walking away, you lean a little bit more. You try a little harder, and you give a lot more. And without realizing it, you slowly leave yourself behind. But here is where the power is. Here's where your power could be. Responsibility is not saying it's my fault. Responsibility is saying I have the power to now change this pattern that I identified. And this is the moment everything shifts. Because instead of asking, why did they do this to me? You start asking, why did I stay? Why did I ignore? Why did I need that I didn't honor? And I want to say this clearly. You did not deserve what happened to you. But you are responsible for what you allowed going forward. And this is character. This is power. This is transformation. Now that you know, don't go back to those patterns. So how do you stop abandoning yourself going forward? You rebuild trust. But that trust that has to be rebuilt is the trust with you, with your own self. And that starts small. You begin to listen to your intuition. Yes, intuition is true. You should honor your feelings. Speak your truth and walk away when something doesn't align. Walk away even when it's uncomfortable, especially when it's uncomfortable. Because every time you choose yourself, you rebuild this character of yours. Not the survival version, not the one that you feel comfortable with, but the one that is finally aligned, grounded, self-respecting version of you. I want to leave you with this. You didn't just abandon or lose yourself in the relationship that you had. You slowly left yourself one decision at a time. And the beautiful part is that now that you know, you can come back to yourself the same exact way. One decision at a time. One boundary at a time. One moment of truth at a time. The moment you stop abandoning yourself is the moment you become unbreakable. And if this resonates with you, and if you are starting to see where you lost yourself, this is the work. This is what I do in coaching women and men to bring power back. Because it's not just about healing. It's about becoming someone who never abandons herself again. Message me if you're ready for the next level of transformation. Take a breath and remind yourself you are allowed to choose yourself. And I hope I'll see you again in week 3 when we're going to talk about rewiring. Why do you attract the same pattern? Stay tuned. Join me again next week on Unbreakable-You on Wednesday at around 2 p.m. Thank you so much for joining me today. Looking forward to hear back your feedback.